Hi there. I hope you're having a great day. We just concluded our latest meeting of the Big Idea Future Network, and we had our AI show and tell. It was really cool. We talked all about AI for 90 minutes. So, this is the video that we recorded during that meeting. So, I really suggest you watch it because there was all kinds of really cool things that we demonstrated. We talked about a number of new applications. One's called Love Art, where you can make your whole branding of your company in one morning. I show Lovable, which is an app or an AI app where you can create your own applications, actually like code your own applications without knowing how to code anything, and a number of other really interesting other AI applications. So if you're really interested in learning more about AI, I suggest you watch this video and make sure that you come to the next meeting of the Big Idea Future Network. Thank you. And all the recordings from the meetings will be in this place. Okay, so let me just share where that is. And I've just sent you the link. Here. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Yeah, good. Okay. So this is this platform is called School, Skool. So this is what that platform's hosting this school. And if you haven't used it before, you'll find there's all kinds of other, schools like that, this one on there. And it's sort of a school, but basically it's a community. Okay. So this is where we're just going to put everything. So I just told a few people about it. So we just have 11 people on there right now. But if you want to use that link that I just sent you, just register for it. And this will kind of be the home base for all this information. And one of the things that's really going to be really useful here or all these videos and stuff that we've got. Okay. So these are some videos I produced, but I'm also kind of putting in the ones that I've been learning from as well. So like, for example, AI agents, if you go on here, there's a whole bunch of information here about agents, about Lovable, all the different ones, Lindy, so that you can learn about those things the same way I did, right? So if you go on here, that just an easy way to get at some of that stuff. And then all the show and tell meetings are going to be on there. So I just put the last one on. So if you didn't come to the last meeting and you really want to get all the information from that, then you can watch that video there. Okay, so this is the reason why to go on, and there's no fee for this or anything. And if you want to post a question over here, you can just post a question. Nobody's done that yet because we haven't really got very many members, but that's what you can use as the place to come and ask questions. Like if you have a question about AI, just put it on there, and we'll try to answer it for you. Okay, so that's that's kind of our home base there. All righty. Okay, so any questions about those things so far?
Yeah, I have one question, Bill.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you started using Synthesia
Yeah.
to help your customer. How long did it take you to get comfortable using that tool before you were actually creating a video? I actually tried doing it on the weekend and I wasn't successful. I was just wondering how long did it take you to do it?
Well, I don't quite remember what happened, but I think it, like with any of these things, I think it's just a bit of there's a little bit of a learning curve, although they typically have some videos. So one of the things you can do usually if you're want to use something like Synthesia, which I can show you in a minute if you want. Uh, People aren't familiar with it. Is that they have YouTube videos. So if you go on YouTube and just put in Synthesia, how to, whatever, it'll kind of walk you through how to do it. And then that's the way I've learned most of these things. Like if I don't know, I just go there, and there's always going to be something. Either Synthesia has done it, or somebody that just has a YouTube channel that does how tos, and that's where to go. But I seem to remember that it wasn't too hard to do something basic anyway, and that was fun because what I did with my clients was we got to a certain stage and we were creating some educational content that they could use to promote their business. And I remember saying to one client, hey, maybe we could just create a video right now, So what I did was I took the raw content they had and I said to ChatGPT, write me a script for a video avatar to speak on camera. And so it wrote the script and it sounded really good. So I put it into Synthesia and then picked an avatar, the person. I'll show you that in a minute, maybe. And then it spoke those words, and that was the video. And they were like, "Wow, that's amazing." So they put that on their. I think they put that on their website. Almost right. I mean, it literally took 10 minutes. It was like crazy. And it was
Bill,
very simple. Like you could have it be a lot more complicated than that, but it was just a a person and a background, and they were speaking those words. So that was a simple. So I probably just key with these things is just to start simple. Don't try to go all the way first. But anyway,
Bill, one of the things to that point, if I could jump in, do you lose or do we lose credibility in the fact that it's obviously AI generated? Part of my biggest issue is I'm not saying anybody, I'm B2B, and I feel like it's kind of like, this guy just had somebody generate this with AI, even though
yeah.
so I worry about going down that road. But I'm just curious
No,
of
no,
your.
that's a valid concern because they call it AI slop. That's the term. Like just in the last week, I like this weekend, I had a bit of fun playing with an app called Sora 2, which was put out by ChatGPT. And I created some really fun things on there that I don't know if I could show it to you. I don't know how I could do it. I could show you my phone, but I had me speaking about big ideas. Just it's like 10 seconds, right? And then I had I made myself look like Superman flying through the air saying, hey, big ideas are great. Anyway, so that was kind of fun, right? Like that's, I'm not saying it's me or anything. But I think there'll be some backlash against that. So I think you just have to use it sparingly. Because I think, people are going to get to the point where they're going to say, well, it's so obviously an AI. I don't know. So I don't know. It depends on the situation, I think. But being human is going to be a big part of this. Like, I don't think we're just going to replace everything with robots, and so I don't have the definitive answer on that one. It's a question. I think if I was worried about that, I would just stick to human videos myself. But one of the areas where it is kind of useful, for example, is in training videos. Okay, so you have a company and they have to create a lot of training videos, and they want to, do it quickly. Well, then they can use an avatar to do that, and the employees are gonna, they have to put up with it. If they don't like it, that's fine. But it could still be good. But it's going to get to the point where it's going to be hard to tell the difference between me and the avatar, right? So the other thing was Synthesia. I'm just giving you a brain dump here. Synthesia now not just making videos, but they just released a new version of it, and I haven't actually got it yet. Maybe it's not available in Canada. I don't know, but they're probably rolling it out slowly. Is that interactive avatar? Okay, so basically, you could make a video where the person says something, but now they say now you can just train it to have a conversation with people. And HeyGen can do that already, but it's kind of expensive. So I think Synthesia has some amazing things. So there actually is a video I'll put up on that site about Synthesia's new version, the interactive avatar version. And that kind of blew my mind what they were showing there. Because you can have a course where people come on, they learn some stuff, they talk to the avatar. It's like the teacher. It has like, you can have like a test that people can take, and then they can discuss how you're doing with the test and how you could do it better. It's just like a teacher. Like,
Yeah, Bill, and that kind of touches on a couple of different things too, because part of my issue, as you know, is credibility, is trying to get to a decision maker to be able to embrace this new concept that you and I are working on. And part of it is the messaging, part of it is how it gets delivered. But so much of this, I don't want to, I'm open for anything to be able to at least get the message across the finish line to people. So
Yeah, well, we're in a brave new world here. So, so when we try something, we try it on a pilot group of people, like a couple of people where the stakes aren't that high. And we just see, okay, how did that go? Should it have been me live, or should it have been a video, or should it have been an avatar? Can it be an avatar? Like there's certain things that you can automate and certain things you don't want to automate, right? Like it was interesting, the guy who invented open evidence, he was saying his vision of it is not just a place where people go and get the research, but it's actually that the AI is connecting doctors together. And and you have a doctor that says, hey, I've got this patient's got these weird symptoms, and they put that up there, and the AI searches for the doctor to go to on the other side of the earth and say, hey, you might have something you might want to share here with this person in Boston or whatever. And it's connecting, as we've been talking about this idea of connecting, right? So they said that really it's going to be, the AI is actually just facilitator of connecting humans together to collaborate. Could be the way he sees his business going. So that's interesting, right? The other thing is with the Sora 2, like you might want to check it out, go on your phone and get it. It's free. You can use it. I think it's just on Apple right now. Is that this is how they're monetizing OpenAI. Like they have, obviously you have your subscriptions, but this is a social network. So people are posting these videos they've made, and then as you scroll through them, and some of them are ridiculous, and you just go whatever. But and then there's one you go, oh, that's pretty neat. It's like really addictive and kind of a life wrecker. But anyway, you go through it, and then but then there's ads in the middle of it. These ads come up, and first you're not even sure they're an ad because they're kind of interesting AI ads. But you watch it, you go, oh yeah, I'm going to buy a toaster, right? Then you go to the next one. So that's an interesting moment there where AI has become monetized in that way through advertising. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, so anyone have something that they've been using AI for that they want to share before I show you a few things that I've done? Anybody have a tool that they've used, something they say, boy, this really helped me? Who'd
Uh,
like to share?
Bill, before you, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead,
sorry,
Sherry, please.
I was just gonna say, I put something in the chat that I just saw this morning, which is similar to what you described with synesthesia. It's from AppSumo. It's called Motion, and it's they were giving like a lifetime deal on this thing for like $69, and it's kind of the same idea where you put in a prompt, and then it can create an avatar and create a whole like movie in
Yeah.
like seconds flat. So I just
Is
wanted
that
to
app Sumo you put there?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So did you try it out?
I haven't tried it out. I just literally saw the video about it, but it sounded very similar to what you're describing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll take a look at that one. I'm going to take a note and
Yeah.
check that one out. There's another question about Sora 2 by invitation only. I think that's still true. But I think I get it because I have like the the more highest level OpenAI account, so I guess I got it for nothing. I got in without having to have an invitation, maybe. But yeah, so I don't know about that. But
yeah, Sora 2 has a waiting list, it seems, Bill,
right now.
unless you're in a certain category of things.
Oh yeah.
And just for David, a comment is that it's an issue of transparency, I think, in relationship. And I'm just putting in some standard AI content disclosure into the chat that might be helpful for you, okay, in terms of, knowing this is a collaborative effort that's going on, okay, not just a bunch of slop or whatever the case that Bill's mentioning, right? And I also believe that with all of this, really difficult for the consumer as a whole. I mean, obviously for us who are in a bubble, we're a lot more exposed, okay? And then the majority of the population relationship to this. I actually had an AI call me again in terms of telling me I was on a dating site wanting me to come to a new program, okay, and call me. And when I was asking it, said, "You're an AI, aren't you?" And it would go silent, and there'd be click, 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 and it would come up with something else in the process. So the aspect of human The
Yeah.
synapse between this aspect of the technology will become, I think, more and more important. But again, it will be a collaboration between the human and the technology, not the technology standing alone. So even
Yeah.
with your pseudo AI avatar, Bill, I think there still needs to be, hi, I'm still Bill, okay, right, in
Yeah,
there
no,
for
exactly. Yeah.
people, right, in order to deal with the credibility and the trust issue that I think is one of the largest challenges going forward, considering what's going on.
Well, and yeah, and it's also, you know, the specter there being this avalanche of this, right? That it becomes just kind of annoying and overwhelming. And so that's always been true, like with even like with emails, right? Like automated emails was a new thing at one point. And it's like, okay, well, how often did I could send one out every 15 minutes? You go, yeah, okay, well, that would really turn people off. So you got to say maybe once a week, you know, would be appropriate, right? So there's going to be appropriate use. I think that we have to find that balance here, because you know, because it is quite useful, right? Like there could be, you know, like they were saying, like with the medical healthcare field, like, you know, go to a doctor, they'd say, okay, you got to take these pills every day, right? But they can't follow up every day. But you could have an AI agent that'd be tasked with that. And they'd call you and say, how you doing? You know, are you taking the pills? And if you have a question, you can ask them. And, you know, and so it's better than no one calling that patient, right? So in that
Yeah, I
case,
mean,
you
I
know, that might
agree.
be okay.
Bill, the whole issue in the medical field, particularly
Yeah.
in terms of treatment, is compliance
Uh-huh.
and the ability to fulfill the treatment protocol or plan
Yeah.
over the course, which I'm sure your better half would know certainly much better than I,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
to get the outcomes. So,
right.
you know, you look at the pill vial at the end of the treatment period, and you typically will find with many that there's still left in there, right?
They didn't do
So
it.
he wasn't
Yeah, so they
compliant.
had an AI agent that could, you know,
Nudge
follow
you.
that person,
Yeah,
and, you
that's
know,
excellent.
at scale, then, you know, that's, I think that would be good. It could save some lives there, right? Okay, I want to show you a few things just to get things kicked off here.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay, the thing is on social media, it's showing that if you do investment with AI, is that accurate or some kind of things? You know, like for stock, share, something like that.
Investment in what?
Yeah,
With the
yeah.
AI, I don't know. I looked
I'm
at it. It
gonna
looks like
go
it
like
goes
this
up
and
and
say I'm
down.
not talking about that, because I think that's got it probably the scariest question we're gonna have to answer, because I don't know. You want the AI to manage your portfolio, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what
I saw an
shows.
interview with a fellow at the University of Toronto. I can't remember his name now, but he's written a couple AI books. Yeah, and that was a good one. I'll put that one up on the site as well. Like, it's really interesting what he had to say. And but he said that, you know, the AI has knowledge, but the human can bring judgment, right? So I use the term wisdom, but I guess it's the same thing. And so it has all this knowledge, but ultimately, like the doctor, for example, is going to get that information from open evidence, right? Or you're going to get that information about the stocks and so on, but you still have to make the proper judgment, because, you know, even if it was a good investment, is it a good investment for you, right? Like, it might be a good investment for somebody that's 40 years old, but not necessarily for somebody that's just approaching retirement. Maybe not too risky at that point, right? So where's the judgment ultimately has to come from a human, you know, because there's a lot of factors that the AI just isn't going to know. So that's why I still think from my financial service clients, I say, look, you've got all this judgment. Like, the knowledge will be unbelievable that you can get from this AI, but your role is to provide the judgment, right? And, you know,
I think,
sober
Bill,
second thought kind of
there's
thing.
a parallel here between medical health care
Yeah.
and financial health care.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
in terms of, and you know, you get the gurus who are obviously, you know, BNN or whatever the case, discussing and talking about this latest and greatest, but
Yeah.
they're I call them advisors without accountability. They don't know anything about the patient, and if you prescribe before you diagnose, it's malpractice. And
Yeah.
that's what's happening so often. And AI will be a malpractice, and what can go wrong with that at the end of the day?
Right. So then when you're using AI, then you have to use your judgment, right? You have to say, you know, is this appropriate to use this with, like, make an AI avatar for this function? what's my judgment tell me here? Oh, in this case, yes. In this case, no, right? You have to make that final judgment yourself. Like the AI is going to say, yeah, use me. That's great. I'm great. You know, why not? You know, but you're going, oh, maybe not in this case, right? Or should I believe that information? You know, or is that actually, you know, helpful? So I think, I don't know if judgment is in, you know, in great supply these days, but I think that's something we're going to have to learn how to nurture in ourselves. Is like saying, oh yeah, I'm the judge. I get to decide. Well, one is it gives you agency, right? I get to decide, right? So that's good. I'm the judge. But also that comes with responsibility, right? Because you're going, I'm making choices here based on, you know, lots of factors that I maybe can't even articulate, right? Because the other thing is that the AI has a rational brain kind of thing, but it doesn't actually have intuition. And intuition is a big part of judgment. So, and that's why it's never a perfect science either. So anyway, getting a little philosophical there. Okay. Anyway, I'll show you a couple things to kind of get you thinking about stuff. Yeah. So there's the school there. Now, last time, let's take you through my greatest hits for lately. So last time I showed you Lindy. So Lindy is a way to make agents, and I'm very keen on this platform. And I'll send you a link if you want to use it. They'll get a bit of a credit for to use it at first, so you get a bit of a deal. I'll send you a link in a minute. But this is something really, really useful, and I've created a number of agents here. So an example of one would be, actually the best one I like out of all of them. Let me just go to my agents here. Oh, here we go. Is this one here, speaker network connector. I'll just click on that one. And so what this does, actually, graphics worth 1,000 words, is it will go out. I have another network. Some of you are in it. It's called the 10% speaker network. So we have, that one's been around a little longer than this one. So we have about almost 700 people in it. And when they sign up, they put a lot of information in about themselves. So I said, well, here's this huge database. And the whole point of this is to connect people together so they can help each other get speaking engagements. So that, well, maybe the AI could do that, right? So what it does is it says, okay, manual start means I just say, okay, please go and make 10 connections of 20 people, you know, put 2 together 10 times. And so then it goes into this read speaker database. It goes in there and it starts to think, okay, and look it up and say, oh, these 2 people should come together. And this is why. Okay, so this is why this is not just an automation. This is an AI agent, because it's actually thinking about, why should I connect these 2 together? Like without the AI in it, it would just say, oh, here's 2 people, let's connect them together, kind of at random, right? But this is thinking, why should these people be together, right? And then it's check existing connections. Have I connected these people together before? No. Okay, good. It's a new one. So then it analyzes the speakers and finds the matches, right? So it goes through a whole analysis. Maybe I can click on that and show you. So then this is what it actually does. Now, I didn't write all this. I just asked the AI to build this for me. So it actually wrote these prompts, okay, that embedded in the agent. And so but I read it and went, okay, that sounds good. So then it started to it makes the connections, figures out the connection, it writes an email and sends it to the folks, says you 2 should connect. And then I'm CC'd on it. It's actually from me. And they go, oh, this is great. And so what's happening with that network is that it's really creating a lot of engagement, because I've been able to make all these connections at scale. And also when you read the email, it explains why. It says you 2 should get together for these reasons. It's like very compelling reasons. And every email is different based on the connections. So that's kind of very, very interesting. There's lots of other ones that I've used it for. Now you notice down at the bottom there, well, my only caveat with this right now is I paid for 15,000 tokens, they call it, like they're like credits, right? And I've got, it's going to renew on October 20th because it says I've already used them all up. And what I did was I asked it to do something and it used up half the credits in like 10 minutes. Like, I don't know, it didn't even actually get what I wanted, it went crazy and did that. So I have to be careful going forward that I don't ask it for something crazy without me knowing. I should have just said, just do one of this. I asked it, just do them all. You know, I didn't know how many credits I would use up. So that was about $100. But I have to live and learn. So that's another bit of my advice for folks. Okay. $100. I go, I lost $100. Oh my God, I hate AI. I'm never going to use it again. No, I go, no, that was $100 lesson. Okay, good. I know not to do that anymore. I'm learning, right? So better than it would be later when I got deeper into it and lost $5,000 because I was doing something. So I've learned something there. So don't be super cheap on taking risks here because you gotta start trying stuff. Now ask me questions about this because that just threw that out there. But what do you want to know about this idea of agents and something like Lindy? What do you want to know about that?
First of all, Bill, I'd just like to know what the speed of consumption is, because it sounds a little bit like a slot machine environment. In other words, without the noise in the background and the ringing, in
Yes.
order to do that. So, I know what 100 miles an hour looks like, but I'm not so sure what 15,000 credits look like. Any thoughts?
Well, yeah, that's right. So what I've had to do this is my second month using it. So the first month I started to go, okay, I'm going to ask it to do this and I'll see how many tokens it used. So I was able to say, well, if I ask it to do this 10 times, then I know that cost me 50 cents. So I was able to start to understand how many tokens. It was like, okay, if I go to this, the amusement park, and I now know if I go to that amusement park, take that ride 10 times, it's going to cost me 50 cents, right? So I start to know how expensive that ride is. And so that's kind of this, right? So that's part of the learning. I don't know what else to say. I think that it's also going to get cheaper as it gets more competitive, right? Because Lindy is kind of I think in the forefront now of like user-friendly AI agent builder platform. And so they're charging a fair bit, but maybe as their other ones will come along, it'll become more competitive and it'll become cheaper to do more, right? So we'll see what happens, but it's not that expensive though. For the stuff that I've done already, I've spent $400, and all of the things that I got out of that are worth thousands of dollars of what outcome that I've got from it by far. So I think it's good. Question, credit. Yeah, credit. Can I use an agent with Lindy to prospect with my? Yes, you can. Question about that. Now, it's what you can do with LinkedIn with this, because I do have one there. Like the business coach finder, the keynote speaker finder, those agents. Couple of the ones that are was that orange? Yeah, I guess orange. They are looking for prospects, and they do go and look for them on LinkedIn. But what's interesting there is it looks for prospects on LinkedIn, but it looks in all kinds of other places too. It looks on the web. It looks in all these business directories. It looks at like 10 different places and finds prospects. So what I've been able to do is find them on LinkedIn, but also find the person email, which is not always on LinkedIn. So what I was able to do is say, find people that meet this criteria. Like I said, business coaches in Canada. So it looked for that, found them and put them in a database. Okay. And then what it did, the other one, which was business coach emailer, that one at the top, then it would do is go into that same database and pull the email out and send a message to that person. So if you set it up as a stream, it would go you're finding the prospects, it gets their email, another agent comes in and sends them an email, right? As far as the LinkedIn goes, I don't want to use the agent to send a message on LinkedIn. I don't even know if we'll do it, but if it could do it, it could end up being flagged by LinkedIn because they can see that the robot agent is sending messages at scale on LinkedIn, and it can actually shut down your account forever. So you could get exiled from LinkedIn forever. So I actually have someone else, human agent, that does that part of the job, because I don't want to run afoul with LinkedIn. So the human is still there. Okay. But I don't know if that's even remotely understandable what I just said there. But what's cool about it is you can start to automate all these things, you see. And just by working with this a little bit, you can start to understand what it's capable of, and then get ideas. Oh, maybe I could use it for this, right? Use it for this. And one thing I'll tell you, this is a secret. I'm going to tell you my secret. I don't know if it's a secret. Is I have this project, and I call it my $1 billion baby. And basically what I'm doing is I'm using AI and agents to build, speculatively, a $1 billion business. So there will be no humans making the business except me and the AI, and there will be no humans running the business. That's the goal. So basically, I'm just asking, what could that business be? So every day I have this conversation with it. I'm thinking this and thinking that. Well, what about that? And so we're getting there. And then the agents are going to be the ones that will start to actually implement it. And that thing that says Spitfire Research Agent right there, that's actually the very first iteration of that business right there. I won't tell you what it is because it's too new, but as I get a little farther along, I'll share with you my experience of that. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is I don't know, like, am I going to have a $1 billion business? I don't know, but which wouldn't be bad. But let's just say, what the point is, though, is now that I have this goal, is that it's giving me a purpose to try these things, right? To say, okay, I'm trying to accomplish this big thing, and therefore AI help me do it, right? And let's see what happens, right? And just iterate, think big, and then start small. That's our motto, and see what happens here. But by doing that, I'm learning all about agents and what AI is capable of, and how to string the agents together. And I'm kind of pushing it as far as I can, like as hard and as far as I can. And I'll tell you one thing that I've concluded here, and I won't even explain why I'm saying this, but is that you think, okay, what's the core principle of a business, right? And what I figured out with an AI business, that it has to be a philosophy. So deep down, there's this, I have to figure out the philosophy of the business first, and then we'll create the business. And part of that philosophy is that business could keep changing. It could actually literally be one business one day and another business the next, because the AI says, oh, that was good, but now this is a better one over here, and it'll go over to do that now. It'll just keep seeking out the best opportunity. So there won't be like, oh, this is what the business does. No, the business is just trying to become a $1 billion business. It's looking for opportunities. But the other part of philosophy, it has to be ethical too. Bill, it'll always be looking for those opportunities. As the technology evolves, it will change what that opportunity looks like.
Bill, I just want to make a comment here.
Yeah.
I think your goal is valuable, and it's important for all of us to maybe search out what that goal is. I mean, one of the reasons I've kind of remained involved in this is I'm interested in actually trying to figure out how I can bring my graduate students. I teach Lean Six Sigma to students, and I need to bring them up to speed on AI. And I'm having to force myself to learn AI to figure out what I'm gonna bring them, what I'm gonna infuse that knowledge with them, and provide an AI upgrade. And so I've been finding that what has really attracted me to not just this,
because you have a purpose.
Yeah, I know exactly what I'm wanting to do, and hopefully I'll have a new goal, a new vision after that. But I think that that's what's driving me to learn, and I think we have almost the need. I was talking to another fellow on the weekend. We're doing a similar thing, but with just one other individual who's 3 years ahead of me on AI, but what I'm finding is that he's well ahead of me, and I'm trying to catch up, and I just need those goals to help me move along.
Well, I think the point you're making, that's I really want to underline, is that if you set a goal Like you could just say, I want to learn about AI. Okay, well, that's fine, but there's sort of the why do you want? What's the point? But if you actually have a goal, right? Like I want to, my wife's, she's a doctor, so she wants to help her patients. So that's her goal. So now she's using open evidence, right? Like there's a purpose for it. So my little model now, I'll make a graphic for this for next time, is that at the center of the model is your big idea. So say, I'm trying to do this. So in the case of what I was just talking about, have $1 billion business, right? Just I always thought that'd be fun to be a billionaire. Why not? Okay. Okay. So then, that's my goal. So then the three things that you want to do with AI is automate, innovate, and humanate. Okay. So automate anything that can be automated in your existing business or whatever, free up your time in your life, free up your time, use AI to automate, right? The next one is innovate, which is say, well, what new value can I create with this? And then humanate is to make sure that you understand that it's actually humans that are actually that you're doing this for. So, if you have a company, in my case, I'm saying there was no humans, but maybe I'll give the $1 billion to some humans, right? At the end, but you got to have that human element in it. Otherwise, I'm not sure that it's going to work. Okay, like so that's what that fellow was saying about open evidence. He's saying, at the end of the day, it's about the patients, but it's also about the doctors connecting with each other. And so he has that vision that was similar to what I'm trying to do with all of this as well. So that kind of jumped out at me when he said that. I thought that was really neat what he said. So automate, innovate, and humanate. I made that word up. Innovate, humanate. You can make up words if you want, by the way. I don't know if you know that, but you can. Okay, here we go. All words were made up initially. Now, the other thing I had a goal was, as I said, I thought my graphics had been, I had them for a while, and I wasn't always that crazy about them anyway. So I thought, okay, what I want to do is redesign my graphics. So this platform is called LoveArt. Here, I'll just send you a link for that one. I don't forget. LoveArt. Now this was amazing. Okay, like I don't know if the graphic designers would like to hear this, but this was really truly an amazing thing. Okay, wait a second. I said I want to redesign my graphics. So so what I did was I first went into ChatGPT actually. Just close that up for a second. I went into ChatGPT and I said, please write me a prompt to create a brand kit. So what I have in ChatGPT is a project that has a knowledge base in it, all about graphic design and branding and everything. Like I've put all kinds of content in there. And I said, write a prompt to ask another AI to create a brand kit. A brand kit meaning all the different elements of branding that you would have graphically for a company. And they, and you already know all about my company, so just make that prompt. Okay, so I made that prompt. I put it in here, I believe. Now this is way down in the prompt, so I have to go all the way back to the beginning. But basically, I put it in there. So it started designing these elements of my design. So the first one was a logo. So there's the logo, and so I like the colors, I liked everything. So it had a few iterations, and then I said, okay, I need to have different logos for the different sessions we do. So it did that. Let me see. We wanted to have like screensaver for all our computers. I wanted to have different icons. So I wanted it to create some icons for things that would do. So it's creating this whole brand kit. Like, okay, here's the layout of a workbook. There's the potential cover of a ebook, I think. Now, what you can do is that once it designs something, you can go in there. Let me just click on this one. And you'd say, I don't know what happened there. A second. Let's get over there. Awesome. I won't do it. But what you can do is highlight something. You can just draw a circle around something and say, change the word. Like if I wanted to change method to process, I could just highlight that word and it would come back to me with big idea process. So it's just like if you have a graphic designer, they design this, and can you just go back and change that method to process, and then it will do that. And now you have these graphics, right? So all of these workbooks, everything, you know, icons. This is like you'll notice on my Zoom, I have the little badge for my name there. All of these things are all together, right? Like this took a couple hours to do. Okay, that's it. You know, media, social media posts, different things there. Let's see what else there is. Yeah, that was my YouTube channel, Future Biz Pros. That's potentially the cover of the book that I'm going to do. Yeah, there's the book cover. You see how it all works? I mean, okay, so this took 2 hours to do. Okay, how much do you think it cost me? That's the scary part. How much do you think it cost me? Anybody want to think?
$5.
Yeah, $14. $14. Okay, like, okay. So I don't know what you do if you're a graphic designer in a world that just took what you do and did all this. So then, you know, even like different networks and all this stuff, like, you know, and like graphics to go with it, you know, like for my YouTube videos and stuff like it. And this is a living palette. So I can just go, oh, I need something else. And it will just create that next. Like it's just going to, like that's the logo for our personality test, right? And you can see how it all fits together. So if you want to try that one out, really, really good. I just like, wow, that's incredible. So any questions about that?
So, Bill, is this a Miro board on steroids?
Which one?
A Miro. The Miro board was a board that you could just add in a continuous basis, projects and other information. But this
Well,
has the ability to create.
Miro board was like a, yeah, like a
But this is on steroids, in other words, in which you can almost be like Canva and something like that in developing this creativity.
Yeah. I mean, this is way better than Canva for doing this kind of thing, because Canva can't do this. Like Canva can't even come close to this. And what it's basically doing, it's using all the different AI platforms. Like it uses ChatGPT, it uses Gemini, it uses Perplexity, whatever is the one that would get the best result for that particular thing. History, yeah. So you can go to town on this one. So this is an example of a platform built on top of those foundations, right? Okay. The next one I think I mentioned last time was Lemon Slice. Lemon Slice is fun. So you can create avatars and stuff. So like I created a cartoon avatar of me here. That was kind of fun. Bill Bishop.
Hi, I'm Bill Bishop's Big Idea AI assistant. I hope you're having a big idea day. Bill is getting everything ready for your big idea session. He will be with you shortly. While you're waiting.
Yeah. So, you know, in that case, like if you make it a cartoon, it's kind of fun. It's obvious, right? And then this one here was of me. So let's just see.
First thing to do.
It's definitely weird, but we're going to work on it. Okay. That one. But what I did was just for the heck of it, because I think I can get away with it. So anyway, at the outcome of that was that I redid my website. And then I put that avatar right there. So when somebody comes on, they can hear this. Hi, I'm Bill Bishop. Welcome to the Big Idea Company. The next thing is to get my arms moving. Big idea. Stand out in the market, generate new kinds of high profit revenue, and build the future business of your dreams. Yeah, so that's definitely version 1. but you know, it's out of a work in progress there. But you now can make the avatars, like you can stand in front of a green screen and say all this, and then it will make the avatar, which maybe it just do it. Or maybe I should just be me anyway doing it. I don't know. But thought it was kind of a fun thing. So, but anyway, so it enabled me to redo our website and make a whole new look in there and everything, $14. So I thought that was pretty good. The other one is Lovable. I'll send you a link for that one. And this is, I know Leslie last time he showed this with the app, if you were here last time. So I saw him do that and I thought, well, I really want to create something for that, like that. So what I did was, I said, we got to have a purpose here. So I have a network for financial advisors. I work on with this other fellow. And so I wanted to create an onboarding system that had AI in it. Because right now, the networks that we have, it's just essentially kind of old school in a way. You come out, you fill out a form, online form, you watch a video, fill out an online form, and then you're onboarded, you get an email sent to you. Now, in this case, let me just open it if I can. I basically set on the left side here, you'd have to go all the way to the beginning, but basically I said, I want to create an app for onboarding people to this network, explain the network. And, you know, I wanted to do that. I wanted to be able to watch a video, fill out a registration form, and then interact with a AI, and then have that interaction, that conversation be in a database that will hold all that information about that person from that conversation. Because the bigger goal is ultimately to connect these financial advisors together to collaborate. So I want to get the AI to gather as much data as I can, and then have that in a database that then another AI agent can connect people together with. So anyway, so there's the video to watch. And so that logo was created in LoveArt, right? The video was created in my office using Ecamm. I use Ecamm for that. Then they go into register. So I'm just gonna fill this out so you can just see how this works. Okay, just put myself in here. With me here. I just want to show you how the you get the website address. $7 years. I'll put $1 billion because that's what I'm hoping for, billions level of income. And then none, obviously none. Okay, so the person puts that information in, right? And they register. So that could all be done in another way. Let me see what happens. Okay, so yeah, so now we have the onboarding group. Share your business story. So welcome to Big Idea Advisor Network. I'm here to learn about your advisory business. Tell me about your practice. So I'll just say we have been. And what I'm hoping is it'll eventually evolve to where they can just talk to it, have a conversation that way, using an avatar, right? Business for 40 years, a family business, sell life insurance. Okay, I hope they would say more. So then it's like a chat bot, right? So it's fantastic. 40 years of remarkable legacy of family business, especially insurance. To kick things out, can you tell me a little more about your firm and so on? So what it would do is just continuously try to keep having the conversation go. I think it gets to about 5 and says, okay, you can talk more if you want, but we're good. That information is gold, because what I'm trying to do is gather up information about their business, right? So that I can help them more by putting that in a database. So that goes into a particular database. I'll just, this isn't really the database, but it'll show you the people that have signed up. So that is still just being tested out. But behind there is the data of about those people that was garnered from the AI when the conversation, right? So that's what the outcome is, and it's up and running. I'm now using it, and we'll publish it. I can just publish it. It's already published. So people, I will now promote this and get people to come into it, and we'll see how that goes. Now it's live, right? And what happens over here on the left is when you're building it. So I said things like logo. So I said, I want to put the logo in. So I said, okay, there's the logo, stick that in, that put it on the front page. Right there. So I want to have that logo there. So I said, well, I want to have a logo. And then it was an upload, add this logo to the landing page, and it put that on there. Right. So I'll add the logo. Your logo has been added. What else you want to do? How can I view it? You can even ask it, how do I navigate this thing? Right. It says, oh yeah, go to this guy up here, and that's go to this one, and that will show you the landing page. And then also in the onboarding, actually, I don't know if it did it. Let's see, onboarding. Yeah, then it put the logo up there. So you just keep asking it for things you want, and it'll just keep doing it, right? I wanted to put the video on there. So it said, okay, put the video on there. What is the Vimeo address of the video? And it stuck the video in there. Like, it's unbelievable, really. So whatever you want, it will do, right?
Bill,
yeah.
How stable is it when you build things in Lovables? Like you're talking about creating a database, you collect all of these names.
Yeah.
Is it there like reliably, or is it?
Well, that's why. Okay, that's a good question. So what I've done is it does keep it in its own database, so that's fine. But I was like, for insurance really, and for other functionality, I have it sending that data to what's the name of that? What's the name of that platform? I'll just find it. I'm seeing here. Advisor database. Oh, Airtable. Okay, so Airtable. We go into Airtable, and there's the information Airtable. So that's a separate platform. I could actually have it go to also into Google Sheets. I could have it go to like 10 different places if I wanted to. I could have that data go to all kinds of different platforms if I wanted to cover myself.
Right.
And then the conversation data, you see, so all the conversation data is kept here. Expand that out. So it keeps the conversation, which is nice. So I could read it over. But what really it's about is that then an AI, let's say we got 1,000 people in here. So then the AI could go through the conversation data and say, well, the 35% of the people are in insurance, 48% of them sell insurance and do investments. The average length of time that they've been in business is this long. These are the major concerns they have. These are the things that they need help with. Like, it can parse all. I mean, that's like, so the more data I gather, the more it can do that kind of analysis, right? And I could even go in and say, okay, here are the 6 people that are struggling with marketing in their practice, to this particular, business market. And it could say, okay, let's produce a document that talks about how to enhance your marketing in the private business market. So it could actually go in and create a custom piece, a whole white paper for that particular group. Or another one, say, for those of you that are both a hybrid of insurance and investments, here, and it would write something about the struggle, how to market both of those things at the same time, and just send something to them. Like, think about it. It's endless. I really literally get so many ideas from all this that I have to go and lie down sometimes because I can't. I go, I got to do something. I not think about this because there's so many possibilities. Like, it's incredible, and we're in a whole different realm. Even like in the last month, we've gone into this other layer of possibility because of the agents, right? So when you're thinking about AI, you think of AI like OpenAI, think of third-party applications like Lovable and LoveArt, right? Think data, right? Think databases, and then finally think agents. So if you start to think about all those at once, then you start to get some ideas, right? Or you just become an AI Amish and forget the whole thing if you want, The other one, what else have we got here? Oh yeah, so then we had Synthesia. I wanted to make sure some people had questions about that. Okay, so this is Synthesia, and I've been using this a long time, and I don't use it to the extent that I could, but what it does, it helps make videos. So she's been my kind of representative for a while, so I keep using her as the avatar, but you could change it. And this is actually a video just from my Zoom waiting room. So when people come on.
My name is Haley, and I'm your virtual assistant for today's session with Bill Bishop, the Big Idea Coach. Bill is ready to help you unlock your creative potential and turn your big ideas into reality. He's excited to work with you today and help you build the future business of your dreams. So get ready to fire up your creativity and build something new, better, and different with Bill. Get ready to think really, really big.
Yeah, so in that case, I think we get away with it because she's saying that she's my assistant, right? So the other thing I've done as far as thinking this through, I go, okay, well, if I want to expand my team, I go, okay, well, who would be on the team? And I'm starting to think of characters. I'll have them actually have names and create avatars for them, and then build the knowledge base for each one of them around that function, and then have them as my team, right? So this is what really it's going to look like. People are going to be managing teams of AI avatar agents. Like that's that'll be the main job as an orchestrator of them, you know, because it's like, so the human will have a very high level job, right? And they'll be managing a team of maybe 100 agents, who knows, right? And doing unbelievable things, and that job will pay very, very well, right? And they will be indispensable because they're the only ones that know how to manage all these agents. That's what I think is the future, what people should be focusing on. You can't beat them at their own game. So you might as well, what do they say? Can't beat them, join them. Yeah, so Synthesia. So lots and lots of videos. You can make them very quickly. You can make, so I created different introductory videos for my clients. Really pretty fun. And you can also make an avatar of yourself and have yourself be the avatar in these videos. And that's where personal avatars comes in right there. The one thing they're not showing yet, which they were promoting, but I guess they haven't launched it yet, officially, is the interactive avatar. So what I'm thinking is that avatar on my website, this guy here, the robot that doesn't move his arms, eventually will be just, oh, there's Bill. Hi, how you doing? You know, thanks for visiting the website. You know, what kind of business do you have? And they'll say, oh, I'm in manufacturing. And oh, tell me more about your business. How long have you been in business for? How'd you get it started? What are your ambitions? It'll do a whole conversation. It'll be gathering all that data. So even if they leave, I'll have that data, right? Or it'll come into signing up for an appointment, right? So you're going to come to a lot of websites in the future where you're going to be confronted by an interactive avatar that looks completely human. Like you won't be able to tell the difference, but you'll know. And then you'll have that conversation and be fine with it. As my wife was saying, she says, when ATMs came out, people were like, oh, I'm not going to the ATM machine. No way. I don't trust that thing at all. I'm going to the teller, right? And then other people just went, yeah, I'll use the ATM machine right away. So some people were early adopters, some people waited. Now everybody uses the ATM machine, and you know, and even then, oh, I wouldn't do it online. I wouldn't do my banking online. There's no way I would do that, right? So there's always this hesitancy there.
Welcome to the packaging world, Bill.
Yeah. That other thing I saw that was really interesting last week was talking about, what is it called? It's called the Gartner. I guess it's Gartner, the company Gartner. Gartner hype, the hype cycle. Model. Hype model. Have you heard this?
Hype cycle.
Hype cycle. Yeah. So it was saying that, you know, initially something new like the technology comes along and there's this hype about it, and everybody's pushing it like it's amazing, and then they start going, it's not that amazing, you know, and then it starts to go down, and you know, and it gets pushed up in the stock market and everything, and then way beyond, they get the bubble, and then it bursts, and then everybody says, oh, AI is terrible or whatever, that's useless, and then there's the slow adoption, and then it becomes the real thing, which we're actually seeing with the blockchain right now. Actually went through that same bubble, and now it's like now it's becoming sort of, in a lot of cases, something, you know, quite useful, but not like people aren't talking about it. It's just becoming something kind of used, and it's not this big hype anymore because you can't get away with that. So I think AI is the same. There's a lot of hype, right? And the bubble's gonna burst for sure. And they're gonna say, "Oh, AI is terrible. It's the whole thing burst." I go, "Yeah," and I'll just keep using it. So as soon as it bursts, just keep using it. I think gonna get even more and more useful. So does anyone else have any anything you're using it for? Any ideas about what you'd like to use it for? Like, that's another thing. You could just say, I really think I would love to make this happen. How could that be? If you got a goal. Sue?
Yeah, so I was trying to come up with a chat SUE. My name is Sue, so I wanted to do a chat SUE sort of social media sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that people could ask questions. So originally I was going to go, okay, I got to get teleprompter and then I'll read, but then I tried that and I'm reading and then I went, wait a minute. If it's chat SUE and the whole point is just to answer questions, like almost like a fun thing for LinkedIn or whatever.
Yeah.
But then I thought I could just get an avatar, I guess, to do that. And if it is chat SUE, people would be understanding, oh, it's Sue's avatar. Like, so I wouldn't have to worry about what the other gentleman said. Because that did bother me. Like, if it's not real, I don't know. But if but if it's chat SUE, there's a bit of a pun there, and then that way they can do it. But I didn't know what tool was the best. Hey Jen, you mentioned was expensive. I've played with that way back. Haven't looked at it recently, but maybe Synthesia is a better way to go than Hey Jen.
Yeah. So I think anyway, I'll send out in the school, I'll send out the link to that video that Synthesia sent out last week. Like, it was their launch of their next thing. So I was all excited. Went on Synthesia. I didn't see it there. So obviously it's, you know, talking about it's coming in a month or something. But I think that I'm excited about that because I think that'll be the best place to do it. I think Hey Jen.
That's the interactive one that you mentioned,
interactive
right?
one, yeah. And you know, and I think that what I'll look for, which they didn't answer the question, I couldn't find any answers for it. But will there be an embed code that you can use to put on your website? I would assume there would be.
Okay.
So that way you can just use you say, here it is right on my webpage, homepage or whatever, talk to AI Sue. And I think that would be fine. I don't think anybody'd have a problem with that. They'd find that cool. It'd be a really cool thing.
I think they might. Let's hope.
Well, there's people who put chatbots on their websites, and I use it all the time.
Yeah.
But this is better than that because now you can actually have a conversation. So you know, it will get to the point where you say, hey, and I'm calling because I got a problem with my device I bought from you, and I have a question, and can I bring it? You know, it'll have to answer those questions. It'll have to do customer service, right? It's going to be all over the place, you know. I mean, my other thought with all this is that essentially most businesses will just be split into two. Let's say, if you want to use a human, it costs this much. If you want to use the AI, it costs this much. And the AI is like 1/10 of the cost of the humans. So you go, okay, well, I think I'll try the AI right now, see what happens. Like, you know, like the ATM, you can go to the ATM or you can go to the teller, right? Eventually you realize, oh, I don't have to stand in line at the ATM usually. Right. So I'll use the ATM. So I remember when they started having the ticket kiosk at a theater, I went with a movie in the 90s with my mother. And there was this huge lineup and I saw the machine. It was like the ATM for the ticket, right? Nobody going there. And I went, you know what? I'm just going to go. You stay in the line, but I'll just go and see if I can get the ticket. And 2 seconds later, I had the ticket, you know, I say, hey, don't wait. We went right in. All the other people are standing there. I'm going, why don't you just use the machine? Well, I don't know. Sounds scary. So everybody initially that's just going to be true, right? So I don't know. And I also think that, you know, it'll show that you're leading edge. I mean, you're dealing with, you're a technology business. You're providing them with technology. But think bigger.
Absolutely. So it kind of ties in, I thought.
What do you think? I mean, I'll tell you what it is. I'll just throw it out there. So Sue puts monitors in elevators in condo buildings. Okay. She calls them cars. I don't know why.
Sorry.
Are they cabs or
jargon,
cars?
elevator, cabs,
Elevator
cars, elevator.
cabs.
I'm
You
gonna
get
pick
into
the elevators. Since
it's
you
not
told
a
me that,
cab. I
go with
hate to tell
elevator.
you. I know what a cab looks like. It's an elevator. Anyway, fine. Okay, so we get in the elevator, and there's the monitor there, and it says, you know, don't forget about recycling day or whatever. We're having a picnic for everybody on Friday or something. So that's a really cool thing. But what's the next thing? Obviously, there'll be a monitor and people can talk to it. There's an avatar. You're talking to the building. You know, hi, this is Building Bob. And you know, got any questions? Yeah, you know what? What about the trash compactor? What's going on with that? You know, like it's not working right now. Well, we have the crew on it right now. They've been working on it, and somebody put their toaster in there and got all clogged up. Don't put your toaster in the trash compactor. I mean,
The
don't you
car
think?
bumper. Yeah.
I mean, and that might even just be also a website as well for the building.
Mhm.
Big
Mhm.
idea. Big idea
Mhm.
right there.
Well, the only thing is, I have a captive audience in the elevators.
No,
So
but you still have the elevator. Okay.
Yeah.
But you'd say the building also has an AI
Oh, right. Yeah,
avatar
yeah.
for the
Ask
building.
us. Yeah,
And
yeah, for
you know,
sure.
and you're the one that can keep training it. Like they don't teach
Yeah.
the client how to do it. Just keep training it. And then you say, well, if you want, we can give you the avatar for your building.
Yeah,
And
that's very
instead of
cool.
you having to answer all the questions, they can go and ask the avatar.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh,
Get a big idea, Bill.
You gotta do
Woo-hoo!
you gotta do it. One of those ones I go, you don't want to do that one. I'm gonna do it. That's a good one.
Back on, buddy.
I mean, Mike Laurie's not here right now, but that's what
I
he's
know. I
doing.
noticed he was on there earlier. Yeah.
He's creating
Yeah.
avatar AIs for buildings. That's what.
Yeah.
basically
I know, it's great.
You could do ones for condos.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do
be
it.
Great.
See, what I would do if I were you, like, if you think that's a good idea, I do actually think it's a good idea. I think it's something inevitable, quite honestly.
Oh, for sure. It's
so
coming,
what you do is you say, that's the goal that I'm going to set to learn about AI. So even if I don't sure if it's marketable yet, I'm going to use that as my goal to learn AI. So I go, I'm not creating this Synthesia just for me to have on my website. No, this is something that I could sell to my clients for their building. So if you have that goal, then that's going to push you to learn more about it and it'll learn quicker. Right. So that's why the big idea part for me is still the most important thing because, you know, you have to have a goal. Right. And it has to be something new, better, and different. It takes everything to a much higher level. And you say, I'm trying to accomplish that. How can I get the AI to do that? And the first thing is just to say to the AI, I want to do this. What do you think? And how could you help me do that? How should I build that?
Yeah. I keep forgetting that
The
part.
AI
Yeah.
helps you build it, right?
Yeah.
So the $1 billion business isn't just something that AI will run. The $1 billion business, I'm basically getting the AI to figure out what that business is. You know, and then because I say, well, if there was that business, how would I build that? And then it says, okay, here's how you would build that. Okay, right? I say, what platform should I use then? And it says, you should use this platform. And I go on that platform. How do I use this platform? And it says, this is how I use this platform. And so I'm building the business with somebody that's got an IQ of 15,000 and actually doesn't care about getting the half the billion. That's the best part.
Yeah,
very cool. My partner that I don't have to give the other $500 million to.
No equity.
Only got to, you know, he doesn't want even any money. So
take that.
I don't know. It is kind of mind-boggling. I honest to God, it's like the more you get into this, the more you realize what the potential is. And here's the other thing. Whatever's going on in the media and the culture right now about AI, it's like talk about missing it completely. Okay. Oh my God, it's, you know, they could use it, make a phone call to my grandmother and she could rip her off. I go, you know, that's true. She could. So make sure your grandmother knows about this. But that's not what we should be talking about. Right? It's like the explosion of potential here is unbelievable. And I hardly hear anyone talking about that. Well, we got to have a compliances and appliances. I'm going, what are you people doing? I gave this course, I won't say where or whatever. I gave this course to these people, corporate people, and it's like, oh, I don't know, it's very risky. I was thinking that. you were going to get put out of business so fast, it's not going to make your head spin. I didn't say that part. Because I thought there's somebody in, in Brazil right now with a internet connection and a computer, figuring out how to totally put your entire industry out of business right now. And it's not just that genius kid in Brazil. The genius kid's got a genius AI that's constantly learning to help him or her. And it's like, and you're sitting there going, well, I'm worried about compliance. I don't know. Like if I uploaded my this, and like I had a friend of mine, she said, well, if I upload that, then AI is going to learn that, and then it's going to steal that from me. I go, who cares? By the time it stole that from you, you're so much farther ahead. Like what? Oh, I'm not going to use it because anyway, it's a bit of a pet peeve for me. But I go, it's so interesting. The fear of this is just I get it. I do get it, but I also go, oh no. I've sort of stopped kind of trying to talk people into it. Like I went to a neighborhood party. It's like AI. Oh my God. Oh. My wife says, don't say anything. Okay. Just have another beer.
That's funny. I know I've tried that at the local pub. Same reaction. What? No,
no. Everybody's worried they're going to lose their job. I get it. Or, either because, it takes their job or they aren't in compliance or something. I get it. But we're entrepreneurs here. So we go, okay, fail fast, break things, see what happens. You can't really hurt yourself with this. I mean, be prudent, you don't want to do anything stupid, but if you have, if you're an early learner, that's all you need to be right now, and have a goal and say, I'm going to learn, and that's it. I'm going to have something to learn. So that's why the $1 billion baby thing is like, I kind of laugh about it because I go, why not? Like, maybe it'll happen. But I've already learned so much just from trying to make it happen that I've applied to all kinds of other things. So, you're going to learn something, and that's going to give you an idea, and then you go, oh my God, that's it. Why am I selling hammers when I could be flying rocket ships?
Bill, there's a couple of people that have their hands up. I don't know if you can see.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I'm just ranting right now. Okay, go ahead. Who should we have? Let's go with Diane. I think he's been up for what longest. Let her rip, Diane. I can't hear you, Diane. What's happening?
You're on mute.
Are you? I don't see you on mute.
Different speaker.
Nothing.
Microphone.
Let me jump to David first, and then we'll come back to Diane while she figures that one out.
Thanks.
Just, Diane, go into your settings under audio.
Any chance you can hear me now?
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So what I'm using it for is with my niche market is around managers and teams, and so I'm all about productivity tools.
Okay.
So not nearly as interesting as creativity, but productivity.
Yeah.
So I'm working on a book, an ebook, a manual around what that would be. And so this conversation is helping me stretch my mind as to how that ebook might be, could be on an updated version. So how, because as you say, as I experience, what we know today is we're in the dust next week. So as soon as I go and print something or, publish something, it's out of date. So maybe the bigger idea, I say bigger, it's not the biggest, but bigger ideas, how to implement agents that would continuously update.
Yes.
Something like that.
Well, that's what I was talking about, the philosophy, right? That's ultimately what you have to start with. So it's like, okay, we're dealing with technology that keeps learning and gets smarter every time you open it up, right? And then it learns from you and what you're doing. So that's a completely new thing. Like we never had anything like that before. So the implications of that are unclear at this point, but we need to be considering that, right? But that's what makes it so exciting, because if something just keeps getting smarter, then it's going to, I assume, get more useful too.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know that we've got fewer people, but I'll just also
Yeah.
throw out if anybody else is working in my niche area in terms
Yeah.
of productivity tools,
Right.
I'd be happy to partner, happy to connect with people on that.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should talk to John. John,
Yeah.
because he and I are working together
Yeah.
with Leslie, sort of forming an AI advisory
Oh.
firm, virtual thing. So maybe you should connect with John. Can you somehow do
Okay,
that?
thank you.
There's his email there. Send him a message.
All right.
You could also talk to, like, I think I mentioned this earlier, because I think if you work with John and Leslie and with your clients, some of your clients, you could be a really good team, you know. But don't try to do all this on your own, because there's so much
Yeah.
there's so much here, right? And that's to try to think that any one of us is going to be the center of all knowledge of it is going to be, I think, very difficult to pull off, right? So anyway, so the part of the network is to connect with like-minded folks and see if we can help each other, right? So Dave, you have
Diane, are you creating a video book or a book that has videos as well, or is it just going to be a regular book?
No, I didn't have the video in mind. That would be a bigger idea. Thank you.
You know what? As soon as you said the idea of updating it,
yeah,
it made sense to have an avatar that updates your videos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, exactly. So the video is constantly being updated with the latest thing.
And then they become your blogs.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that whole thing, like online courses and stuff, that's all going to change too, right? Because what's a course has got to be an avatar teaching you the course, right? Like it can't be just a static thing. It's people are going to expect that interactivity, right? And then and that AI will also keep learning what you've learned and understand your challenges, what you've learned, and help reinforce what you need to learn more. So it's going to be really powerful, you know. Dave,
There's
you
a
got
guy. Sorry, there's a guy you might be interested in, Bill. I might have heard about him here. That Ryan Levesque guy that wrote the book Ask. Do you know of him?
Ryan Levesque?
Yeah, he wrote a book called Ask, which was basically a marketing tool. It was considered pretty genius back in the day, but he's a fairly young guy, but he's come up with a program. Basically, he used AI to build a tool that everybody else can use that will take one piece of content. So say you write one piece of real original content, it will take that and break it down into 37 different pieces. So long form video, short form video, blog post, this, and he's going to be charging $5,000 a month for that service down the road. So just an idea of, somebody was thinking big.
Well, if you're interested in that kind of thing, there's something called Opus AI. Opus AI does that, and it's not $5,000 a month. Yeah. So check out Opus AI. It will take your videos and break them down into smaller videos and so on. Yeah.
It's opus.pro.
Opus.pro, thank you.
Opus.pro.
Okay.
Yeah. He's gonna be struggling to make $5,000 a month doing that, but it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, unless he's got some kind of niche. So
Dave. Yeah, exactly. So guys, I just need everybody to just noodle on this, whether you have anything now or not. But Bill and I are creating what's known as the specialized packaging marketplace. It is a B2B matchmaking service, so to speak, for packaging manufacturers that make something unique and different in the packaging space, and then connecting them with decision makers. We call them buyers, but decision makers who need that packaging. Now, here's what makes this a bit of an oddball. Packaging manufacturers historically have been paranoid to share anything that they do unique or custom or different. They have lived in fear and paranoia about, oh my God, I'm not going to say that I'm really good at making this type of film because someone's going to knock me off or someone's going to copy me. And so part of what the challenge has been is, and Bill, you'll be proud of me, I just had 2 of my interviews last week paid, which is always good. But what's really interesting is when I do a Zoom with them is I need them to well, no, I need them to self-discover their need and understanding that sales are tough for them. They're not finding the right decision makers. Their sales reps are thinking that quoting is a good idea. They get down these rabbit holes, and there's a real need to be able to. This isn't a directory. This isn't a Thomas Register or a listing. This is a marketplace. And it's so important to be able to kind of get that distinction across and get them thinking differently, as in, so what we did was with this marketplace, the key thing is to have an interview, a quick little assessment initially, but the interview is really a 2-hour kind of discussion and really get them thinking differently. I want you, hypothetically, Diane, to be thinking about 2 or 3 key types of packaging that you make better than anybody else and why. And I want to know, and I'll just kind of keep asking. And then eventually it turns into, well, who's your target client for this? You know, who's the target company, and what's their size and how many employees and who are you trying to reach? And then all of this just becomes this unbelievable mountain of gold data, number one. And then we're using Lindy and some other tools, outreach, to kind of, you know, make connections eventually down the road. And then in the middle, this is where, you know, Bill and I will make a couple of bucks by bringing people together. But again, all I'm asking here to the group is, part of my challenge is getting anybody to lean in and either pay attention to a LinkedIn post, a video, an article, a blog, anything. It's almost like, I don't want to go. I'm not going to go. I'm like, but the industry is so desperate for something different.
Mhm.
I know we're sitting on gold. So if anyone has any thoughts on that, I'd be grateful.
Well, I would just say one thing. It's kind of the ATM thing. It's like initially, you know, people go, okay, they've always used the teller, and now you're saying, oh, this machine's quicker and everything. I know it's scary. It's a scary thing. I mean, I guess that's just the AI generally. So you got to find the early adopters and not worry about all the ones that are still scared, because, you know, they'll come around. They're all going to come around, right? But if we try to push them in too hard, then we just, I call them the green lights, right? Those are the folks.
Yep. It's just trying to find those people. It's like a needle in, and I understand 100%, and I'm not complaining or bitching about it like I used to. I see this as a huge opportunity, but even finding somebody that would either lean in is God. Sometimes I'm thinking, like, do I need to put a gun to your head? I don't understand, but yeah.
Right. Well, that's why we're getting into our own thing here, but we're having our meeting coming up, and so in that meeting, I'm going to suggest that we say, okay, we're just going to connect some people together and say, here, we're going to be matchmakers, right? We're just going to be like the annoying matchmakers. Like, you two should get married, you know, like, come on, right? You too, right here. You're not married yet. Come on, get married. And we're just going to be like that, because they'll go, oh, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm not married. I should get married, right? So there's this, I call it the hooker by crook stage. You just kind of force the issue, because people are not getting it. So you just make them get it. Yeah. So we'll have that conversation.
We'll have a conversation. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
There's a book too called Obviously Awesome by April Dunford. She's a positioning guru. So it's how to make people get it. Like you're awesome. You're obviously awesome. How to make people love it, get it, buy it, kind of thing.
Right.
But April Dunford is her name.
Oh, I love that one.
Thank you very much. I'm all over that, Sue.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for coming today. We've got the recording. I believe the next meeting will be actually in 3 weeks, because I'm away 2 weeks from now. So what is that day? That's the 27th. It'll be on the 27th, the next one. You want to put that in your calendar, but you'll receive a notification about that. Okay. Dave, there's Diane sent a message there.
You got that?
Make sure you notice that one.
Yeah, I'm on it. Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks, Diane. Okay, I'll reach out. Yeah, thanks.
All right, and thanks for everybody's contributions, and hope this is helpful. Oh, and if you
Thank-
know anyone that you think should be part of this, send them off to me, okay? And we'll get them hooked up. All right, thanks,
All right,
everybody.
cheerio.
Bye.
Bye-bye.